I'm Jen Sway. I'm a health and life coach empowering women to break through their fears, be confident in their authentic self, and create thriving relationships along the way. This is the Find Your Freedom podcast. Hi friends, welcome back to the Find Your Freedom podcast. It's Jen, and today we're going to be talking about productivity as well as the case for self-compassion. So a couple different topics today, totally related to each other. If you feel like you are really stressed, if you feel like you've been putting a lot of pressure on yourself to be productive or to do more, or you are just feeling really guilty because you have a ton of free time and you feel like you should be filling that up by doing something like writing a book or, setting goals, trying to work out and cook or whatever it is. If you feel like you need to be more productive and you need to do more, then this podcast is for you. If you feel like you are stressed out and you're close to burnout, or it feels weird that you have some free time because you're always doing something and you don't know why, and you feel guilty and you feel all the feels, this is also for you. So, friends, let me just start by telling you, productivity is totally subjective, and it is such a toxic word, I feel, in so many ways, because when we think of productivity, I don't know about you, but I just think about how American culture has made this thing of we have to work 24/7, and if you're not working, then you're not going to reach your goals. It's this whole American dream of if you just work hard, then you'll be able to make anything happen. And while yes, if you do the work, then you're going to be able to achieve what you want to achieve as long as you set your mind to it. But I think it's this idea of hard work, that everything has to be so hard and you have to always be doing and you never can rest. And if you're resting, that's not good. And even when now with mindfulness being a bigger movement and mental health, I think people are understanding that resting is good and that you need rest. But the issue is that people aren't actually resting. If you catch yourself sleeping and or before you go to bed, you're feeling guilty for sleeping, you're kind of like, oh no, I don't want to sleep, I need to do more work, or I wish I didn't have to sleep as much, or I'm going to sleep less, I'm going to pull an all-nighter so that I can finish this work first because that's more important. If you're putting work and quote unquote productivity above your health, that is toxic productivity. Okay. And it's only gonna just backfire. It's just gonna blow up in your face, because here's the thing. If you are not taking care of yourself, if you're not sleeping, if you're not eating well in a way that makes you feel energized, if you're not having fun and taking care of yourself, then you're not actually gonna be able to be productive. You're gonna be more distracted than ever. You're going to not be able to mentally keep yourself stimulated and motivated to do something. You're going to be so tired or so hungry or whatever that you're just not going to be able to do the work. And honestly, you're just going to be cruel to yourself. You're going to reach a limit where you burn out, meaning you are so overworked, you're mentally exhausted, you don't have any bandwidth to actually work, and it forces you to stop. Okay, the body and the mind are phenomenal mechanisms that we have, and they are smart. They are smarter than us. I think we like to think that we can control our bodies and our minds, and that we can just always produce, but that's not the case. Our bodies and our minds are way smarter than us, and they have a system in place for us to regulate our bodies, right? Just think of if you get sick, if you have a fever, your body temperature is at a solid 98.7 degrees Fahrenheit, and it just very, very little change there, okay, by a point something degree. If it goes up to 99, you have a fever, you feel like shit, okay. And it's such a small change, but the body kicks in and wants to bring it back to homeostasis, right? This neutral ground where it knows it can run productively, effectively, it can take care of you. And likewise, when you are pushing to be quote unquote productive, right? Literally putting everything else on the back burner, not taking care of your physical health, not taking care of your mental health, not taking care of your relationships, actually taking the time to be social and connect and feel loved and be loved and love yourself, right? If you're not doing any of that stuff, or if you're not able to actually like sit down and rest without feeling guilty and like actually restore, then your body is going to get to like a fever state where you're not going to be able to work anymore. It's going to be like, nope, we have to stop. Like, I am burnt out. There's no more work we're going to do. I'm not going to let you work until I can heal, right? And you have no idea how long that period may be. It may be, a few days. It might be weeks. It might be months where you just can't work. It's just, there's no purpose. There's no motivation. And it just sucks. Every time you go and work, it just like feels like death. There's like no motivation there whatsoever. There's no ability to actually like get things done because you've burnt yourself out. You like use up all the reserves and more, right? So it's like you gotta build it back up, and you have to build it up by resting. So for all of those of you who are listening who feel like you can't rest and you feel guilty for sleeping, and let me tell you, like I'm like done this. I've done this so many times. I have neglected my physical health and my mental health for years, and it definitely backfired. I thought I was smart enough. I thought I was, good enough. I thought I could outsmart it, that I was gonna be able to be okay if I like pulled all-nighters and if I just like took care of everyone else and like didn't actually like take care of my mental health, kind of ignored it, like noted it, but just ignored it, I thought that I would be able to outsmart myself, and boy, was I fucking wrong. I was wrong as hell. No. You know where that landed me? In a fucking hospital for 3 days with like no stimulation. Okay? Literally, I was in a hospital without my phone, without a laptop. I like didn't even have a book with me. I think they had like coloring sheets. And basically I was going to like group therapy sessions a couple times a day, and then like sitting by myself with no stimulation and maybe like coloring. Okay, I needed that. Because what it did was it showed me, holy fuck, there is so much more to life than work. And it pulled me out of my ass and made me look at work and play and rest in such a different light. Like, that is a necessary part of healing, of moving, of like life. And there's a quote that I love so much, and it's that if you don't make time for your wellness, then you will be forced to make time for your illness. And let me tell you, that cannot be more true ever. And I think people ignore the fact that like depression and anxiety are illnesses. Like, they need to be treated. And the way to treat them is by taking the time and the necessary steps to heal your mind, to give yourself compassion, to rewire these negative thought patterns that you have. And really, like, honestly, this toxic relationship with productivity and doing and getting to this like high rank where you're making a shit ton of money, you have all this prestige, you have all the things, you have like an incredible soulmate, and all the stuff, you're working out, you have a super hot bod, like all that fucking bullshit that's like really just noise. It's like, what do you actually want? Okay, and you have your entire life to get there. Like, why are you trying to run? Why? Like, what's at the end of the road is death. Literally, that's that's at the end of your life is death. Why are you trying to run to the death? Like, no, bitch, slow the fuck down, okay? Take a breather, step back, go literally go for a walk and smell the flowers. Like, you really actually don't need to run. Like, stop running. Seriously. I have a friend who I was just talking with, and I have a really great analogy that came out of it when I was trying to explain to her like these concepts. And she had just graduated from college, uprooted her life, during the pandemic, to move to a completely different country, which she was planning on after graduation, to be with her partner. And she has been working and doing all things, but she has all this free time. And she was saying how she was feeling really stressed for having all this time, and like felt this pressure to need to come up with something productive while she's not working. And she was literally like, yeah, I feel like I need to write a book or something since I have so much free time. And she was telling me how she felt all this pressure and she was so worried about not having something to show for the time that she had off. And I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? And she was saying how she feels like she doesn't have any goals or like things that she wants to achieve, and like she doesn't even know like what sounds useful to do. And I was literally like, what the fuck? Slow down, like literally like slow down. Let's walk, okay? What do you even mean? Something to show? Like for a job? Like is there like a resume gap that you're worried about? Like what do you mean productive? Like what is productive to you? Like do you feel like you literally have to go write a book or like start a foundation or something? Like what is going on? I'm like, girl, you literally spent the last 4 years of your life slaving away at school, taking projects and jobs. And, you know, like I said, I knew her in college and she like did so many things and she was a great student and she was part of all these different clubs. I'm like, you were balancing a long distance relationship with a person from a completely different country who's on a completely different time zone. And somehow you were also sleeping and working out and eating and you were taking care of yourself and doing all the school stuff, right? And like also planning for the future. Like, what the fuck? Slow down. Like, you deserve some time off. You have literally worked your ass off for years, and now you finally have some time to actually relax and reflect, and you're telling me that you just want to be more productive? Like, you have to be more productive? And she was saying how she felt like school kind of brainwashed her into thinking that everything that you do has to have a tangible end result, like something you can put on your resume. And you know what that does is that it makes you not be able to relax. It confuses relaxing and taking time for yourself and self-care with being lazy. And that, my friends, is the asshole brain. It is the perfectionism in you. It is this narrative that society has told you that in order to be a valuable member and contributing member of society, you have to be productive. Okay, and also, fuck that shit. It's also generational trauma of women being told that they need to do more and be more and stay quiet and just like work and like take care of like all of. There's a whole nother thing. But literally, it's just bullshit. Okay, I hope you understand that. It's just bullshit. And after we talked about it, she realized that, you know, it was like a total waste because she looked back on how busy she was and how she isn't like necessarily more successful or happy than anyone else she knows. Actually, like, you know, in this other country, she's in New Zealand, she was saying how, you know, the kids there aren't trying to like outdo each other or with like how busy they are. Like being busy is not a badge of honor there like it is here. And they're still getting jobs, they're still enjoying life. And, you know, it made her realize that there is more to life, that she should be able to see herself as worthy of rest, of relaxation, that she's able to actually appreciate her successes and like be so proud of everything that she has accomplished. And this analogy came out of it that because she's vegan, I'm vegan, that's how we met. We've both been vegan for many years. And I was telling her, you know, what you're doing is almost like with veganism, in the case of compassion for animals, right? Compassion to not be cruel to them, that they are suffering here, right? And, you know, once you can be aware of all that cruelty that's going on in the industry with animals and in the food industry, then you can create that compassion for yourself to take massive action and say no to like meat and dairy and cheese and all these other things, and actually be an advocate for animals to help others be well themselves, right? You can be plant-based and live a very sustainable lifestyle and then also inspire others to do the same. So similarly with productivity, it's like you're like training yourself like a cow. I was telling her, you're like a mama cow in the industry right now, and we're so cruel to yourself, and you're finally realizing this now, that you've just been forcing yourself to produce. Like you're constantly producing, as a cow would, and a mama cow would in the industry, you're constantly producing these cows, these little babies, and also milk for the industry to use. And then what happens when you can't produce anymore, when you've reached that state of like burnout where your body and your mind just can't take it anymore, it can't take this pain, it can't take the cruelty that's going on, is that you burn out, and the industry's like, well, fuck it, you're useless, we're gonna kill you now. Like, oh, you're not producing? Okay, we're just gonna kill you, cow. Like, that's what our brains are basically telling us. That if you're not producing, then you're useless. And that's bullshit. That's so cruel. Like, can you see the cruelty in that? And for her, being a vegan, it just like totally clicked. And she was like, I can't stop thinking about that. Like, that is insane. Like, that is exactly what I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, it is. And it doesn't serve you in any way. That idea of, if you're not producing, then I am useless, then I am not valuable, then I am not worthy, then I'm gonna have to work harder later or whatever. Those are not thoughts that are going to serve you in any way. It doesn't make you more productive. It doesn't make you more valuable. It doesn't make you more motivated to actually go do things. What it does is it takes you away from the present moment. It takes you away from enjoying relaxation time. It takes you away from actually discovering what you want to do, because you're thinking constantly, what should I be doing? But you're not asking yourself, what do I want to do? Okay. And here's the beautiful thing, is that thought that, you have to be productive to be useful is an optional thought. It is completely optional. It's not a true thought, and you don't have to believe it. You can totally let that go, create a new thought to replace it that's actually going to be pleasant and to serve you and to get the winning results that you actually want, which is going to be, to be able to be enough no matter what, to always feel like you are always in abundance instead of lack, instead of like this scarcity of like, I need to do more because otherwise, like, there's not going to be enough for me. There's not going to be enough resources for me. There's not going to be enough jobs and opportunities for me. There's not going to be enough people who like me. Like, whatever that is, that's bullshit. Like, something that really stuck out to me is that she understood the concept of believing in herself, right? And she was saying how other people have told her the same thing of like how she actually has to believe that she is worthy and that she can do whatever she wants, and to actually let go of this thought. But she was saying how it's so much harder to believe in herself and like to actually do that than it is to actually do it, right? And what I told her was that you're going to be uncomfortable either way, right? Just like Master Coach Brooke Castillo from the Life Coach School says, you're going to be uncomfortable either way. So why not get the result? Right? You're going to be uncomfortable living in this way that you are now, where you are trying to force productivity, where you're judging yourself really harshly, critiquing yourself, being really cruel in your mentality, like shitting on yourself all the time, telling yourself that you're a lazy piece of shit and that you're not going to amount to anything in your life unless you actually figure out what the fuck you're doing with your life and get everything together, and like, what the hell are you doing, right? Like, those thoughts are going to exist in you right now. And you can either choose to continue living like that because you're like, but it's so much harder to like do the other thing, which is actually to change your mindset, to rewire your programming, okay, to unlearn all that bullshit that you've been telling yourself for years and years and years, and tell yourself a different story where it allows you to actually be happy, to be productive in a very balanced manner, allowing you to enjoy and fully be present in your work, and then be able to enjoy and be fully present in your rest and recovery and restoration and all the fun and play in life, right? So if you're going to be uncomfortable either way, like uncomfortable through the journey of growth, of self-discovery, of actually like changing and like becoming aware of your thoughts and changing that mindset, and you're also going to be uncomfortable living the way that you are currently living and going the route that you're currently going, why not choose the result, right? Why not choose to be better? Why not choose the better life if you're gonna be uncomfortable either way, right? Like, how is it possible that if you have your own back, if you believe in yourself, that that's gonna be worse than staying where you are? Because it's not. It's just not. I also really want to point out that this doesn't have to be difficult, right? Like, in order to actually do shit differently, to treat yourself positively without cruelty, to actually accept yourself, to be kind and compassionate, to show yourself some grace, it's not hard to do. It's actually really, really fucking simple, because all you have to do is allow yourself. You just have to give yourself permission to just be fucking human, to take a break, to rest. It's actually super simple to do. What's difficult is allowing yourself to take the blinders off of you and actually like stay in integrity with who you are and like let yourself be that way. That's the difficult part. It's just like choosing to take the path, right? It's choosing to go on that journey. That's the difficult part. But once you're there, every step after that is simple. It doesn't mean that it's easy, okay? It's just simple because it's the right thing to do. It's going to like feel really aligned with who you are. And it's going to create the most authentic results you can ever have in your life by creating this curiosity of being yourself and having fun and playing instead of working hard, because working hard doesn't produce great results. Okay, you don't have to struggle. It's really just being yourself. And if you can do that, and you can allow yourself to listen to your body and stop when you're like in pain and just keep going and growing through the discomfort, you're going to 10 extra growth, you're going to 10 extra results, and it's going to be fucking incredible. I'm going to leave you with a meme that I saw the other day that was basically like teacher from England, like email response when you email them is, hey, I'm out of town for the next 3 months on a hiking trip. Email me back in September or like later in September and I'll get back to you then. Versus in America, that you like send someone an email and they're like, automated response, hey, I'm stepping out of the office for like 2 hours to get kidney surgery, but you can still reach me on my cell phone. Like that's literally the life that we live in right now. Stop being so toxically productive to yourself, okay? It's just not helping anyone. It's not serving you. You know it's not actually helping you, right? Yeah, so you know what will help you is to do something differently. So if you haven't tried being kind to yourself, to be compassionate with yourself, to give yourself more rest, in fact, as much fucking time to sleep and rest as you fucking want, don't knock it till you try it. Okay, friends, that is everything for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that this helps shift your mindset around productivity and how to actually approach it in a healthy manner that feels really great to you, where you can be fucking incredibly productive without burning yourself out. Like, let me tell you, it is 100% possible, and it is way more joyful and way easier to do when you do it that way than trying to force yourself to be something and do something that you don't actually want to do. So if you want to learn more about that, if you want to shift your mindset and go deeper into this work, if you want to make it super simple for yourself to be extremely productive while having healthy boundaries and having a fucking life and resting and enjoying your rest time, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you one-on-one. All you have to do is visit the description box down below in this episode, and there you will find a link to my site, jensui.com. That is JENCUI.com. And over there, you can book a 30-minute consultation with me where we can explore if coaching is right for you and if this is the best next step for you. And if it's not, no worries. I will help point you in the right direction that is going to get you to where you want to go as soon as possible. All right, everyone. Well, that is everything for today's episode. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Remember to be kind to yourself, be compassionate, and to take a fucking nap. All right. Bye, guys.